How is it going, everybody, and what is up? This is Shane, the Rising Grind Picker, and I'm just driving in the car. I am going to buy my fishing license, so I might do a little fishing tomorrow. I'm a big fisherman. I love fishing. I love being outdoors. So let me ask you one question. Are your eBay sales slow? And if they are, what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? Yeah, there's a lot of people right now in the reseller community saying eBay sales are super duper slow. And I can tell you right now that I'm 230% up from last year, which means my business is growing. I'm selling more than I did in the prior period of last year. You have two places on your dashboard on eBay where you can look at sales, and when it gives you the percentage of your growth, it gives you the last prior 30 compared to the prior 31 days, and it gives you a comparison of the same time period from last year. And I can tell you this right now, okay, that 31 days, the prior 31 days, or compared to the prior 31 days, that doesn't really matter. And here's why it doesn't matter. Because that number is going to change so much. Because you could have a $1,000 sale one week, and then, you know, off one item, or a $500 sale, and then you're not going to sell a $1,000 item every day. But if it's up compared to the prior year, it means your business is growing, or the same time from that year. So it's on the right hand side, and it says like compared to the same time prior year. That number will tell you if your business is growing, if you're up or down. And if you're down, figure out how to get up. But I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people saying, hey, my eBay sales are slow, I can't sell anything, I'm not selling nothing. I'm a clothing seller, but I didn't start out in clothing. I started out in hard goods, and I don't primarily sell clothing. A lot of resellers, they get this thing in their head where they're going to sell clothing and make $1 million in a year. I'm sorry, but clothing's hard to sell. It's a brutal industry, selling clothing on eBay and selling clothing online. And it's very cutthroat because you have a lot of competition, and you have a lot of people that's going to price you down. You have a lot of people that shop at the Goodwill bins, including myself. That's where I shop as well. And sometimes, not all the time. And the thing is, you're going to get people that can undercut you, or they can offer that item cheaper. So if your eBay sales are slow, think about what time of the year it is. Now, don't get me wrong. If I find a coat or a jacket or even a sweater, I'll list it in July. I don't care. I sell sweaters and stuff all year round, a lot of the times. But for me, I adjust how I source in the summer. And I do that because I know sales are going to be slow. And I know that not a lot of clothing. Occasionally, you know, you'll get quite a bit of clothing sales, but clothing necessarily doesn't always sell in the summer. Now your bathing suits and bathing suits and shorts, yeah, short sleeve shirts, they'll sell. But typically clothing has usually your chances decrease in the summer because people are out having fun. You still get clothing sales. I'm not saying you won't. But people are out having fun, so they want to buy stuff that they can have fun with. So it's summertime, so I source a lot of golf clubs. I am an avid golfer. I've golfed for I don't even know, like 6 years maybe I've been golfing for, and I love playing golf. I love golf, and so if you do a hobby, you know the hobby, like you know the clubs and stuff like that, whatever. But I source stuff like golf clubs and fishing equipment, and I'll do like even archery equipment, because here's the thing, you got to think of, so people buy archery equipment in the summer for two reasons. They buy archery equipment because it's summertime and they want to get out and shoot. But bow season for deer in pretty much every state that I know of, but especially in Illinois, comes in October 1st. So they're not going to buy a bow, you know, and I have sold compound bows on eBay. They sell really, really well depending on the brand. That's all about brand. And there's a lot to know with that. You got to know the draw length on the bow, which it will tell you because it's adjustable and different stuff like that. But some bows will sell for $1,400, $1,000. I think the last bow I sold on eBay was a year and a half ago, maybe, and I sold it for like $500. Not too bad, right? But the thing is, okay, you gotta remember that if per se bow season comes in October 1st, in my state it does, in Illinois, but other states it may not. They're not gonna buy it. They're not gonna buy it September 25th. They're gonna buy it in July or June or August. Because here's the deal: you got to go out with a bow. You got to go out and you got to sight all the sights in, and there's 4, sometimes 5, 6 sight pins, and you have to go shoot it, and you gotta sight the sight pins in. And I know how to do that. I actually have been around archery pretty much my entire life because my dad actually used to own a bow shop. But more importantly, you got to sight all the sights in. You got to go and you got to do your due diligence to make the bow work. So they're not going to buy it September 29th. They're going to buy it in summer. So you got to find items that are kind of like that. That it may be a fall item, but people are going to buy it in the summer because they're going to use it the first of fall. Or people are going fishing and they want a new fishing reel to use. Or people are going tubing and you found, you know, some brand new in the box tubes for boating, and that's what people are buying. People will still buy some clothing. But for me, and this is just for me, I'm not saying this is for everyone. I'm saying for me, clothing typically sells a lot less in the summer, and that's why I tend to source a lot more hard goods. I do a lot of garage sales in the summer. This year, I've actually done way more garage sales already than I did last year. Last year, I didn't really have much of a chance to do a lot of garage sailing, but I've done a lot this year, and I've already picked up a lot of good stuff. But you got to really change on how you source in the summer. And that's, I think, more importantly, a lot of people fail to do that. Because human beings, and especially just people in general, they're creatures of habit. And from what I've seen from like other resellers and stuff like that, when they're not selling, the reason they're creatures of habit, we are creatures of habit. Every person on this earth is a creature of habit of some sort. Whether you go to a restaurant and you order the same thing at one place, or you have certain like you know, routines that you do. Everybody's a creature of habit. So a lot of resellers, from what I see, and including me, I get caught up in this myself, is I'll go and I'll just keep sourcing the same thing over and over. And when summer hits, I have to remind myself, okay, we got to change it up and we got to source differently. And that's where I also have to hold myself accountable, because I have to hold myself accountable to source in a different way than normal, or I'm not selling stuff. And that's the thing, is I kind of do a little bit of hard goods in the winter. I mean, I'll do a lot of let go sourcing. But people are creatures of habit. And so what you have to do is you have to branch out and you have to find different stuff besides clothing to sell. Because clothing has super high ROI and it still sells good in the summer, you know, certain things. But you have to also, if you want to make the sales and if you want to sell a decent amount of money every week, you have to source other stuff. You have to find other stuff to source, and you have to branch out and into other items. And I think that's where a lot of resellers, like I said, they fall victim to the daily creature of habit routine, where, you know, it's like, well, I've sourced clothing all winter and I made like, $500 a week off selling clothing. And that's great. That's awesome. And you can still source clothing in the summer. But just remember that if you really want to make or grow your business, like, you have to always be branching out. And that's why I don't niche myself out at all, because you're just not going to make the sales. So go out there and go to a garage sale and, go look at some golf clubs. And if you see one that's interesting, get your phone out and look it up and look up the comps and see what it sells for. That's the only way you're going to find out. Or go to a thrift store and look at the sporting goods section, or, look at baseball mitts, or, whatever. Look at some books. Look at electronics. Try to branch yourself out and be able to source other things besides clothing. Because I started out in hard goods, and when I sold on eBay, I started out in hard goods, and I didn't sell any clothing, and my sales were pretty decent for starting out. And when I went to clothing, I noticed, like, oh, a lot of this stuff's a longer tail. And I wasn't even, sometimes I wasn't actually selling more than I used to when I first started. So I had to change it up a little bit, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do just clothing. I'm going to do clothing, hard goods. I'm going to do everything that makes me money. And that's the trick, is I sell everything that makes me money. If it can make me money, I'll sell it. And I love shoes. Shoes are awesome. And I've sold quite a bit of shoes. But you just got to know that, clothing is great. It's high ROI, and it's a good item that you can sell for a lower cost. And because you're getting it fairly cheap some places. But you also have to remember, do your due diligence. If you say eBay's slow, figure out why. Figure out why your sales aren't, matching up to previous years, or figure out why you're not selling as much as you did last year. Maybe last year you had more hard goods, or maybe you had more of a variety of items. I don't know. I mean, Walmart, they're a multi-billion company, dollar company, and they're never going to go bankrupt because they sell everything. Everything that people want, that's what they sell. And you look at all these department stores, like, Bergner's and Bon-Ton stores and Macy's, and they're all having a lot of trouble. It's because they sell nothing but clothing. They have no variation, and their prices are extremely high. That's why a lot of people have went to buying pre-owned clothes off of eBay, is because it's cheaper. But just branch yourself out. Don't be a victim. Don't fall victim to the creature of habit routine. Do not fall victim to it. If you have trouble sourcing other items, okay, and you're like, clothing's the only thing available in my area. Well, it's not. I guarantee you it's not. I can bet you any amount of money that if you had, and really the thing is having multiple sourcing streams, sourcing multiple different ways. I source thrift stores, garage sales. I run Craigslist ads. I scour Let Go, Facebook Marketplace, and OfferUp, and then I haggle with people and try to get them down to what I really want to pay for it so I can sell it. And that's the thing. That's the trick you have to learn, is branch out in your sourcing. Don't just go to thrift stores. Don't just do one type of sourcing. And look at multiple things. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. I mean, just look it up. I bought a Fluke Networks TS54, and I've never bought a Fluke before. I don't know anything about buying Flukes, but I bought it because it's $45 is what I talked the guy down to, and I'm probably going to sell it for like $300 to $350. So really, that paid off in that research. Like, I'm going to make a substantial amount of money, probably over $200 on a $45 investment from Let Go. And you just got to branch out, and you got to figure out, what can I sell to make money, or what don't I know about? And another thing you can do to kind of, offset slow sales is start selling on other platforms. I sell on Mercari, and I just started selling on Mercari not too long ago. Like, literally, maybe less than a month ago. And I mean, I've already sold like, I think over $100, $150 in just bubble mailers. And that's all I got listed is bubble mailers on there. And I've sold, you know, $150 or so in bubble mailers. And I've sold like, I had 4 items listed last week, and I already have one listed. I sold them all but one. And the thing I like about Mercari is it's very quick to list. It's super fast. But the thing I don't like about Mercari, everything, the shipping's amazing, everything's great, but you can't do multiple quantity listings. And if you sell something, you can't just sell similar, you can't do nothing like that. You have to just literally keep if you have multiple quantities, you want to keep the pictures, because you got to post the pictures again and you got to make a new listing. But selling multiple platforms, you know, figure some stuff out. If I couldn't, you know, if I wasn't making the money that I needed to on eBay, man, I'll tell you what, I would like literally have a bunch of photos in my phone that I'd taken the night before, and I would go drive Uber, and I'd be driving Uber, and in between freaking people, you know, in between picking people up, I'd be listening to Mercari. You know, it's all about how hard you want to hustle. It's all about how much you want to make, and there's no cap on this. Like, there's no salary cap. It's unlimited, but it's what you make of it. And if you make it, you know, if you don't make it to be what it is, then you're not going to make money. So I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some tips and tricks on maybe how to increase your sales on eBay, or maybe make a little bit of money elsewhere. Try listing on a new platform. My challenge to you, all right, you guys and gals watching this video, my challenge is, if you are not on Mercari, or if you're not on Poshmark, or if you're not on Etsy or anything else, and you have slow sales, because if you're watching this video, I'm sure you have a problem and you have slow sales and you're trying to figure out how to fix it. My challenge to you is that join Mercari, Poshmark, or Etsy. Not even Etsy, just Mercari or Poshmark, and list 5 items this weekend by Monday night or Tuesday night, you know, and get those listed at least by Wednesday. And then next weekend, comment down below how many sold, and I bet you'd be surprised. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you on the next video.